Hello and welcome back to the Road to Champions League Glory with Bishops Stortford. This is episode 38. So last time you were with us, we'd finished season 8 and we'd finished in a respectable position of 7th place, and that meant we regained a position in the Europa League qualification rounds. Today we will be finding out if we've been successful in those qualification rounds, but before that we'll just have a little look at the transfers we've made this season and to see how they have bedded in and how things have changed since you were last with us, which was back in May, and now we are in September. So we'll have a little look at the signings, and as you can see, quite a few and quite a lot of money spent as well. We've spent 52 million over the summer, and we've been able to bring in 3.3. So not obviously we haven't balanced the books, but we have been able to get in some very good signings for future and for now. So let's have a little look. So the first three are youngsters that are going to be in the under 19s team that are going to be hopefully part of the future of Bishops Stortford. And one of them is Mal Powell, who is from Cardiff, 16-year-old Welsh centre mid, looking quite good. Good little bit of bravery, good determination, good teamwork, and he's progressing quite nicely. Then we've got Steve Lund, who is currently on loan. Nice stats, good determination again, free kick taken, first touch finishing, composure, striker, he's going to be playing alright. Andy Kennedy, who's come from Aston Villa, good little stats for him. I scouted these as youngsters when they came through in on Regan Day, and was able to then pick them up in the summer. They look quite decent. Then we've got a left back in, I'm not even going to pronounce his name, I'm going to say LD. We're going to call him LD. Okay, and he's our left back. He's come from he's a Serbian player, plays for the under 21s. Was able to pick him up via that. Nice little stats. It was picked up by one of my scouts as well, which was quite nice. So it kind of backed up my own personal theory. So he was brought in. Then I brought in a player that I'd signed on a contract back in about February, March time. And this is a player that I've been chasing, or had been chasing for a while. As you can see, there was a few signings that came in on the 1st of July, and this is one of them. And his name is Bilal Sim, and Sim is a very good player. I spent quite a lot of money on him. He's out on loan at the moment in Nottingham Forest. He's a striker. He could have been in the first team quite easily. Okay, he has come in. I signed him from Feyenoord for 4.5 million with a lot of add-on clauses. I think one of them's 2.5 million if we win the Champions League, so there is a beneficial added bonus for Feyenoord if we actually do get to that Champions League glory. But he's a player that I think has got a lot of potential ahead of him. I saw him in the under 19s and watched him quite a few times for Feyenoord under 19s last season as well, and he looked very good. He's a player that I can see a lot of potential. Got my scouts to do very good work, very thorough scouting on him, and he came through with them with 4.5 star potential. The 5th star's a little bit blacked out. On some of my scouts he says 4.5, on some of them says 4. So I'm going to kind of go with my gut and say that he's going to be very good. He's got good finishing, good first touch, and very good determination, which is always a good start. He is only 18 years old, which is even better. The next one we look at is Nicola Cassoni, who is a Swiss player brought in from Grasshoppers. Was a player that had been scouted a while. He came up on my radar. Was quite a cheap price. It was brought to me by his actual agent as well, because obviously there was a link there of some sort. I don't know how the match engine had been sorted out, but he came to me and I thought, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put money into this one. He's a good little player. He's in a position that I don't really normally play, because obviously we play with the three at the back, 2 wing backs. But I'm kind of bringing him in, looking at him, probably playing him as a winger. It means I can have a bit of versatility with this formation. It has meant I've had to bring in a player on the left as well, which isn't a bad thing. So we have got a lot of versatility now, which is good. Then we got Thierry Leray. Thierry. I quite like him. He's another Swiss player. And again, I'd been tracking this player for a while. and I was very reluctant on spending lots of money on him. But I feel he's probably worth what I've spent, but I think I just didn't want to spend too much on him because I'm quite reluctant at Bishop to actually spend a lot of money. I know it's going to have to happen soon, and it has happened a lot this season. But it was always I was always reluctant because I didn't want to be that big spender as soon as I get to the Prem, splash out the money and kind of do what everyone else does. But I have had to. And Thierry is, well, I'm kind of thinking of him as my Thierry Henry really, and he's not bad. He's doing right so far. He had a good pre-season. I will show you that in a bit, but his stats are doing right. He's only 19 years old. He's already had 2 caps for his country, which is Switzerland, and we'll see how things go really. Next in, we've got Lindsay, who is a Scottish. Well, he's from Scotland. He was at Hamilton. He's an Irish 2 cap holder already. 2.4 million value. I brought him in for 2.3 million. Looking at him, his stats look quite decent. He's played a few games for me already. He played quite a lot of first team football last year for Hamilton. He's quite a decent player. I'm quite happy with this one. So then we brought in Kamil Mazurek, centre back from Poland. One for the future. He's 19 years old. I brought him in, decent young centre back. He's gone on loan to Wigan, see how he gets on, and we'll see how he develops in his career really. Then we got Silvio Fischer, who's a keeper from Dynamo, another youngster, but I can't get him on a full transfer yet because I don't have the money, and I'm also reluctant on playing his minimum release clause, which is 13 million. But we can get him on loan, so he gets on. He's played 2 caps. He's had 2 caps for Croatia already at 19. He looks a decent prospect, and we'll see if he's going to be any decent with the club. And if we can kind of get his trust, then maybe we can get him a bit cheaper because we'll be a bit of a nuisance with his club and kind of annoy him. And if he says that he likes us that much, then he'll probably put in a transfer request. So we'll see how we kind of go with that. It's a tactic of mine. If I think that I can loan them and then get them to kind of like us a lot as a club and as a manager, then we can annoy the club that he plays for currently, so he wants to come permanently. We'll see how it goes. I brought in this player on free transfer. I just see four little free transfers in a row. Joe Ran he's a player that I think I've brought in, and I think I'm going to get a bit of money for him over time. And I'm probably only thinking 2-3 million, nothing major. But he's coming in. All I'm doing is paying his wages, and then he's going to probably get sold. He's just a player that I think I can just bring in and sell on. There's a few of them. I've also brought in Giglio as well. Same tactic. He's going to come in. He's going to be sold in about 2 years' time. He's not a first team player. He's one that's just going to be brought in, sold for the money, and we'll see how it goes. Then we've got 2 players that are first team. Son Heung-min, ex-Tottenham. He's signed for Man City on this. 32-year-old South Korean, 159 caps. There's 3 reasons why I brought him in. 1, he can play left and right wing. We have now got to play left and right wing because of the new Swiss player that we've got. 2, he is South Korean, which means in the Asian market, he is very, very valuable. He's 32 years old, still playing for his country. And along with our player, Cho, he's their second, those two, the 2 best players in South Korea. So I thought, retail-wise, I'm going to get a lot of shirt sales with him. And that has been confirmed with my financial director as well, who has said that he will gain a lot of interest in Asia, which is great. 3, he's an experienced Premier League player. He's 32 years old. He's coming in on a 2-year contract, which isn't major amounts. He's going to be here for 2 years. I think he can do a decent job for us. Okay, his physical stats are going to drop by a bit, but his mentals and his technicals aren't. And yes, they aren't outstanding, but he's still a decent little winger. So we're going to be playing him on that left and right position when we change the formation round and when we need to. He's not going to complain about first team football too much because I don't really think he expects it that much. We'll see how he gets on, but hopefully he's going to be like a tidy little player for us, income-wise and just as a squad player, really. Next in we got Julian Davidson, who is a centre midfielder, come from Rangers, I think, or was he on loan at Rangers? We'll have a little click on him. Not sure if he came from Rangers. Yeah, he was on loan at Rangers. He was a Liverpool player. And I brought him in, not really expecting loads from him. But it was a bit of a pun really. He looked alright, good determination, good teamwork, good agility, good strength. Defensive midfielder, can play in the centre mid. He's a good little tidy little player, worth 11 million straight away. English, which is obviously good for us for all these registration purposes. And I just brought him as a bit of a squad player, and he's actually started playing for us quite nicely. He got injured a little bit at the beginning, but we've kind of kept with him, and we'll see how he goes really. Then we go on to a centre mid that I have brought in from PSG on loan, and that's Putty Dewey. And he's a Dutch player, and he's been brought in mainly because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep one of my centre mids. And I've I didn't really have much money left in my transfer budget, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring him in on loan. He's not really going to be paying that much. If he doesn't play, then he's not going to complain. If he does play, then it's going to be a bonus for him and us. Stats aren't too bad. 19 years old, he can play as a deep line playmaker perfectly. He can run with the ball through the centre, and he's a decent little player overall, so I'm quite happy with him. Decent passing, decent technique. Then after that we got Damir Prezarek, who is a centre-back from Dynamo. He's gone on loan straight out to Rijeka, and he's just going to be basically one for the future. He's already had 2 caps for Croatia. Croatia are now part of the EU, which is great because it means we're not having to sort that out, which is obviously beneficial for us. Then we've got Bonilla, who is a Colombian youth player that hasn't got a work permit, is currently in Travnia trying to get experience playing and hopefully pick up in the Colombian squad, and hopefully then we can gain a work permit. I have asked the board to get me an affiliated club that is possible to get work permits quicker. Hasn't happened so far. Then we've also got Rakif Hadid, who is an Algerian player that I scouted when the African Cup of Nations was on. He's part of their squad at 17 years old, I think. Yeah, 17 years old, I think. And I was pretty impressed with him, to be honest, stats-wise. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a punt. And I brought him in. Okay, yeah, I spent 375k on an unknown player, really, and a player that I can't get a work permit for. But I think he's going to be alright. I think hopefully after a little bit of time he will pick up a work permit, and we'll kind of see how we get on there. He's a good little stats-wise. And then last but not least, we got Marco Carriera, who is an expensive player. I brought him for 14 million, potentially 17. He's an Italian centre mid, and he's not bad. He can dictate tempo, tries long ball passes, and he likes to switch ball to the other flank. And he's only 18. He's a centre mid so far. His stats are coming up. His determination is very high, which is fab. Physicals are coming on slowly. He can't really jump. He's only 5'5". He's only little, but he's going to be in that position where he's just going to be dictating the tempo, just passing it around. He's going to be the heartbeat of the team. He's 8.5 million now, but that's only because I've just paid 14 for him. He's someone who wanted on loan as well. I'm hoping to send him out on loan. He's someone that I think is one for the future. He's not one that I think I'm going to play this season or next season, but he's one for the future. And also, if he's at the club for 2 years and he's still under 21, then I can play him in Europe. So that's another reason why, really. So that's our ins. Our outs aren't really exciting. We got rid of Mike Nugget's gone on loan. Harry Chapman's gone to Wolves for 500k. Ganelli's gone to Colchester for 200k. Laxton, our goalkeeper, our reserve goalkeeper, has gone to Walsall. David Vaza, who was our actual captain last year, he's gone to Valladolid. He was there because of his leadership, really, but he's gone there for 500,000. Then Ben Hall's gone to Dundee for 375. A few loans gone out, and most recently, Shea Facey's gone to Swindon for 150. It's players that were never going to be part of the first team squad. I was reluctant on letting them go because most of them were English, so I had to get them for registration, but I have been able to bring in some English players on top of that. So I kind of felt that it was time for them to have a new start, really. So you're probably all excited to see how we got in the Europa League qualifications. Well, the draw has happened. Our next game, our live com today, is going to be against the team that we have been drawn with in the group stages. So we have gone through the qualifications. But to kind of just show you how the draw went, I did record it previously, and we will have a little look at it now. Welcome back. As you can see, it's the Europa League group stages draw. We're going to have a little look of who is in the seeds and where we are and who we might come up across. I'm doing this live, so it's just going to be a case of just seeing who we get, really. So having a look at the seeds, we've got some big seeds in here, really. Arsenal, Lyon, Leverkusen, Napoli, Lazio, Zenit, Spartak Moscow. We're in the third seed group, which is nice. So there's going to be a team worse than us in the groups, which is always good. So I'm going to go through drawing next team, and I'll click it through so we get all the top teams, and then all the second teams, and then we'll have a little look at the groups then. So I'll just flick through all these. So having a little look there doesn't really mean anything so far. So going through them, let's have a little look at the groups. So Kiev and Anderlecht. There's not really one that stands out as really, really hard so far, which is always good. Napoli, Moscow will be tricky. Sevilla, Bordeaux could be interesting. Zenit, Sociedad. We won't go here, which is good because it's Arsenal. Obviously, it's going to be a bit, I don't know, I'm not really knowing what to expect on this. So let's kind of go slowly through it. So Maccabi are in there. Southampton are in that one. Austria Vienna. Dynamo Bucharest. Club Brugge. Young Boys. Marseille. Frankfurt. So we're going to be in one of these. Bait. Sturm Graz. So we're looking at either Olympiacos and Salzburg, or Valencia and Dynamo. I want to be in this one out of all of them. So fingers crossed. Yeah. Oh, flipping I got that. I wasn't expecting to get that, but yes, good. I'm happy with that. Nice are in the bottom one. Balotelli might be there as an assistant manager. Let's see who we're going to get as our bottom club. It's either going to be Vitesse or Hibs. And it's going to be Hibs. You know what? Let's have a little look at this. I think we've been rather lucky. I'm not going to lie, we could have had a disastrous group there. But we're going to be going off to Greece. We're going to go to Austria. And we're going to go to a very local team in Scotland. So I'm pretty pleased with that. We've done alright. Now, we're going to flip back to the fixtures, because obviously this is a recap of the draw, which happened not recently. It was a few weeks back. So we're going to flip back now to the fixtures. So I'll see you in a minute. And we're back. So as you could probably tell, I was pretty chuffed. We had a decent little group. I couldn't really complain too much. Our first game today is against Hibernian. So our live com today will be against Hibs. And just to kind of show you how the pre-season went and how those Europa League qualification rounds went, we were pretty lucky. We didn't really come up against too many hard teams. We came up against two average teams. The Lange, who are a Luxembourg team, nothing really in it. We beat them 3-0 and 2-0. Then we came up against Akotobi, who are a Kazakhstan team, and we beat them 3-1 and 3-0. So nothing really to be too worried about, which was quite nice for me. I think I was very lucky. I think I'm very lucky in the draw to be able to say that I've got Olympiacos, Red Bull and Hibs. So I can't really say I've had a difficult run so far. As you can see, Premier League's been quite good so far. We've first game of the season we played up against West Ham. We beat them 3-2. Cho scoring 2 and Callum Slattery. Then we came up against Southampton. Stats wise, you think, you lost 2-0. They must have been quite good. No, they were pretty poor. We were pretty awesome, and unfortunately, Serrano missed a penalty, and Alex, and we didn't win the game. So I wasn't really happy with that. Not ideal. Then we came up against Stoke and beat them 3-0. Then we came up against Bournemouth and beat them 4-2. So today we're coming up against Hibs, and I'm looking forward to this. This is our first Europa League game. We're in Group K, and the tack that we're going to go with is this. So what we're going to do is we've got trapping goal: Okore, Leonardo, Lee Lindsay, Para, McCaw, Jose Rodriguez, Simo, Slattery, Odegaard and Cho. Fisher is on the bench with Olav, with Son, with Ben Woodburn, Julian Davidson, Nicola Cossoni and Thierry. We've got a few unregistered players. Diaz has picked up a little bit of an injury. He's just a little bit injured at the moment. He's got a bit of a thigh strain. He's only going to be out for 4 days. Nothing major to be concerned about. We have got Graham McKenzie, William and Dayan available to put into the match squad, but the others are unregistered due to the fact that we haven't really got any homegrown players, so we can't register them. So let's get into today's game and kind of see how things go. So we're going to submit. It's going to be an interesting one because it's my first European conquest of FM17. I've done a few little other saves, but I haven't really had a decent Europa League or Champions League run. So it's quite interesting for me to see how it's going. We are on the updated database, so it's going to be interesting to see if my tactic changes due to that. We have been given an increased wage budget. Nothing major. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't in debt. And we are favourites into this game. They're playing a very similar formation, except they're playing 2 up front and we're playing 1 behind. So let's have a little look at how we're going to get on, really. So going to ask William, Ewan to kind of little chat with them. We'll come in and off we go. So we're in the blue, shooting left to right in the first half. They're in the green. So we've been able to pick it up. Simo's picked it up straight to Cho, and there the highlight is over. We have got possession to start off with, 73%, so that's quite nice. We're passing it around really nicely. We've been playing really well in our game so far, which I'm pretty pleased. We had a very good pre-season. We didn't lose any games. We've done that a few times though, and not really worked out. But it's kind of we're a positive team. I'm building a decent team. I feel that this season could be a chance that we could push for Champions League places. The board ain't going to tell me that, and the players ain't either. But I think realistically we've got a chance. Last year we finished 7th. If we're going in that upward trajectory, then this season we need to keep pushing, and I think we can keep doing that. So I think Champions League is our target, really. I'm not really sure what to kind of expect from Hibs. They're a Scottish team, but they're going to be quite decent, I guess. They're going to be probably about a mid-table Premier League side, which we are really. So it could be quite an even game. Slattery's picked it up, back to Odegaard, onto Cho. Cho's going to pick it back to Simo to Slattery, onto Jose, and onto Para, and Para puts it in near post. First goal of the season for Javier Para, our little right winger from Paraguay, puts it in to the back of the net, and it's 1-0 to us. So we are winning in our first group match in the Europa League. So let's see if we can carry on this winning streak and get a few more goals, really, because it'd be good for a goal difference and just secure this win, really. They've got a bit of the ball at the moment. We've been able to pick it up. Lindsay, who actually should have played against Hibs last year, should have played against them last year. Cho's not having the best game on a 6-5. Coming up to half time in the next 5 minutes. Got a corner to us, and it's coming in. And Simo has been able to pick it out from the edge of the box. Eric Simo, second goal of the season. And he scored a belter. It's a good little goal. Him and Cho are there. Picks it up. And he's headed the ball from a fast distance. That's off his head. Near enough where the penalty spot is. Nudges it into the top corner of the right hand post. Good little goal, quite happy with that. 2-0 Bishops Stortford. So hopefully we'll get into the half time with it still been 2-0. Okora's pick it up, onto Para, onto Simo. Simo into Jose, back to Para. Para back to Odegaard. Odegaard onto Slattery. Slattery onto McCourt. Ball goes in, and it's an own. Is it an own goal? Yes, it's an own goal. Just to confirm, own goal. Cho is there. I think Cho would have tapped that in as well. McCourt crosses it in. Good little cross by McCourt, and their player has put it in the back of the net, unfortunately. So it is now 3-0. Let's go into half time. If you look at stats wise, we haven't really created much more than them, but we've been clinical. We've put our clear-cut chances away, and we've put our half chances away, which is always good. Para's been able to pick it up. Para's passed it in, and there is a foul by an Hibernian player. We have got a penalty. Simo steps up to take the penalty. How is he going to get on? I don't know. He's been able to put it in the back of the net. So it's a really, really good penalty. Simo's been able to put it in. It's his second penalty of the season. He is getting better at penalties, which is nice. Last year I was a little bit reluctant. We haven't got the best of penalty takers, but he's doing alright. And he's got bagged himself another goal. He's on a hat trick now. Can Eric Simo get a hat trick on the first live com of this season and show that he's capable of performing? There were rumours in the summer that Bayern Munich were coming in for him. I was a little bit gutted. He got a little bit upset for about a week, and I got very, very concerned. So we're kind of hoping the transfer window has closed, but we're kind of hoping no one comes in back for him in January. So yeah, it's one of them that I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, because he's a very, very good player, so I don't really want to lose him. And it's a case of just keeping him in the team, because I think he's going to be one of those players that I'm hoping he just stays for a long, long time. Really, time's flying by the way. Nothing really is interesting happening. No highlights are occurring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring off Cho. I'm going to bring on Ben Woodburn. The other one I'm going to probably do is, actually no, I'm going to bring on Thierry. And the other one I'm going to do is bring on Olive instead of Lee Lindsay. And we'll see how we get on from there, really. So it's 2 substitutions. Time's flying by. They've had a lot more shots than us, but majority of them have been long. Look at the average rating. We are a 7.92. They are a 6.38. We've just dominated this game, which has been great. Simo's not going to get his hat-trick, unfortunately, but hey ho, there's always another day for that on another live com. But we are pretty successful with this one. Hopefully time's just going to fly by, and it's a good first win in the group stages. It sets us up for a good season, and I'm hoping that we can qualify before the 6 games are out. That would be ideal, because we could actually mix it around a little bit and play a few of our youngsters, a few of our younger players. Maybe 1 or 2 of our really, really good under-18s players that can play. So we have won. It's a 4-0 victory. Red Bull and Olympiacos drew 1-1. Our next game in the league is against Leeds. Our game in the EFL Cup is against Leicester. Our next game in Europa League is Red Bull. So I'll probably come back. Possibly, I'll come back for the Olympiacos game. So that'll be our next one, and we'll kind of see where we are doing in the league. Then after that, we'll probably come back. If we haven't qualified by after the Olympiacos one, we'll come back for the Red Bull one. So we got a few more. We're going to do a few more videos this time, which is going to be a bit interesting. They're just going to be a lot shorter. So I've probably dragged on a little bit on this episode, but guys, as always, thanks for pressing play, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.